Okay, on to the second page. So take one of your chipboard album pieces and then you go to your little tiny bit of kit with your page 2 on. So that's got everything in there. So we're going to take that off and we're going to sit those to one side, and we're just going to take the patterned paper that we're going to use for this one. Now there are 2 sides, so if you don't like what I've chosen, you can always flip it over. But again, what I'm going to do is we're just going to add some glue to your album. As with the other one, you just need to centralise your paper, turn it over, make sure it's straight, so the pattern's straight, and then you're just going to cut around the edges. But we'll skip that bit and then I will show you the finished bit in a minute. Don't forget to punch your holes. Okay, so there we go. Let's start decorating this one. So what we're going to do is we're going to go to the back panel first, which is this one here. Okay, so we're going to create a photo mat. Now on this one I've actually punched the corners so that you can actually slide. I'll just use this as an example. So you can actually slide your photo in like that. Now unfortunately for this demo I haven't got my hole punch with me because I left it at my class the other day. But I'll show you what we're doing. So that's what we're going to use for our first piece. Now if you want, you can cut the outer edge off because you can't really see it on there anyway. I'm going to leave mine on there just for quickness really. But if you guys, as I say, want to chop that down a little bit smaller, you're welcome to. And I'm going to use my Cosmic Shimmer glue again. Just pop that down and centralise that. In actual fact, I'm not going to centralise it, I'm going to leave it over a little tiny bit because we've got some pearls that we're going to decorate the side with. So I'm just going to put that just over towards where the holes are. Clean that up a little. I'm just going to go over with my brayer just to make sure it's nicely stuck. Now if you are using your hole punches to put your photo mat in, obviously you only want to glue the outer sides, else you're not going to get the photo to actually fit in your slots. Okay, so that's that. And now what we need to do is create a very similar to what we've done here. Now obviously, as I said earlier at the beginning of the tutorial, I can't sell you these pre-cut and stamped elements, so we've had to improvise a little on that. Okay, just move that. Yeah. So what I've done for this one is we have my little elements that we're going to use. And what I've done is I've given you all a little tag so that you can pop that on there like that. And when you're actually going to fix it down, you don't want to fix it down there because your photo is going to slide into there. So just far too much glue on that. Just wipe that off. And make sure you don't go over your holes. And I'm going to do that at an angle. I like my angles in my albums. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to take a corner punch. So if you've got a corner punch, I do like to think it does actually just finish things off. So I'm just going to corner punch all these corners. And then I'm going to add that about there. Like so. And now what you're going to want to take now is, after that's dried, I put a little bit too much glue on there. In actual fact, I'm going to have it come down straight. What I'm going to do is add one of your magnets. So if you go to your magnets, there we go. So take one of your magnets, and then you just need to take your backing off. And as long as you've got a minus and a plus one, it doesn't really matter which way round you do them. and there you have, oops, didn't quite put that where I wanted it, on the back of your little tag. Okay, and then you've got a little sentiment that goes with that, living the moment, and we're going to add that down the side. So again, we're going to add that again centrally down the side, and then at the bottom I've used some more pearls, and we're just going to add the pearls with some more tape. Down there, take your tape cover off, measure your pearls to see how many you want on there, and don't be afraid to use your pearls. I have given you plenty to decorate your album with. Okay, so there we go. And then we're just going to go on to the next bit, which is the tag. So there's the tag there, and that's the one we're going to create, obviously without the sentiment tab on there. So what you need to do is take a hole punch again. I've used the same punch. I've just taken the hole punch along the top. And then we're going to just cut the tag out. And again, if you've got the dies, you can go ahead and cut it out with the dies, or just fussy cut it out like I'm doing here. Quite simple. There we go. Now what we need to do is, we've got the other side of the magnet that we need on there. So just make sure I have got the -1. So I'm just going to take the backing off the magnet and add that to the centre of my tag. Now you can do it the other way around, but what I want to do is I just want to see whereabouts I want to put that on my journal tag. So need to be looking at having it about there. Okay, so there we go. Just add a little bit of tape to the back of your magnet. And then what I'm just going to do is add a bit more glue just to make sure that is secure. So it's about there. So there you have it, and then you just want to go and find some of the decorative tabs that I've enclosed, and then again just half, and add that to the, so that you've got a little pulley out bit when it comes in and out. Okay, there we go. If you want to add another one just for decorative purposes, you can go and have a look to see what you've got in there. Let's have a look. So I've got one of those, so I might just add that as well, just to decorate it a little bit more. So it's a shame that I can't use the stamps, but there you go. Just to give you an idea. If you want to, you can put another one on the back. I think I have enclosed enough to put them on the back. So we'll just go ahead and stick one on the back, just to tidy it up. But if you are adding something else on the back, i.e. your somewhere to journal, you want to do that after you've added that. Okay, so there you go, there's your second page with your little tiny magnet that holds that in, like so. There we go. And I almost forgot, just to add over the top there, I have got added those in, so you can add your pearls. There you go. You can add those to the top of your tag if you wish. So we're going to do page 3, and we've got a belly band, a little tiny journal tag, and a few other bits and pieces that we're going to pop on there. So what we're going to do now is we're going to be making this page here. So we've got a belly bar that we're going to do, and the tag, and another little tiny belly bar down there. That's actually, they're little pockets really, because belly bars actually come all the way through, but you get the gist of it. So so that page is going to be the opposite one to what we've just made. So there you go, your little tag with your page 3 on. Pop all the little elements to one side. And then again, like the others, we're just going to glue that on and line it up, cut it out. And I'll skip that bit just to save a little bit of time, because you have seen me do it on previous pages. So I've gone ahead and stuck my paper down on my album page, page 3, with the bicycle down in the corner. And I've also gone ahead and punched some of the blue cardstock that we had that I showed you earlier on. And that one I'm going to adhere about there onto my card. And again, if you want to use some tape, that is completely up to you what you use. And I'm just going to just lay it there and just hold on to it and just make sure it's on there, so I just know where the end is. Just moving it, it doesn't have to be precise as long as it's a little bit. And then I'm just going to make a little pocket, getting my glue out, just gluing down the bottom and the sides. So I'm going to work out whereabouts I want that on my page. Thinking about there will do fine. Just hold that slightly and wait for that to go off. And while that's waiting to go off, I'll just pop that to one side, and I will just take my tag that we're going to be putting on that one, and again add a tiny hole on this one rather than using a tag this time. And I'm going to use some of the blue ribbon. So you're going to fold that in half and then cut that to the length that you want it, and then we're going to put it through hole like I showed you before, like so. Put it through and tighten it up. Don't pull it too tight, else you might rip your paper like I've just done there, but that'd be fine. Okay, and if you want to just cut them at an angle, you can. Stop to it. So there you have your tag, and in with that kit you'll have a sentiment. Sentiments possibly will vary depending on your kit that you get, but everything will colour coordinate, and it is quite clear really which one goes where. I really must start putting my lid on my glue. So we're just going to sit that about there. I'm gluing that just at the sides, and then what I'm going to do is I'm going to push it in slightly. As long as it's centralised, it's completely up to you whereabouts you want it. And actually, I'm going to move that up slightly because I just remembered we've got a little tiny border to put down the bottom. So push that up, okay. And then I'm going to just punch another board really shouldn't do this on my glass mat. I only need a little bit, so I'm not going to go towards the end. Add that there, work out where I want to cut it. And then we'll add that. And we can make that into another little pocket if you want, and then you can add a little tag. You can always add bits to this kit. I mean, I've put plenty of stuff in so that you've got plenty of tags to play with and decorate. But if you want to add some other little bits and pieces, you can. Just made a little pocket there. So that's your tag, and that's your page there, and then that tag will sit inside there. And then at the bottom I've done another tiny little pocket bit there, so you'd use that sentiment. That's what I loved about this collection. All the sentiments you can just use perfectly in an album, and they just come all in one strip, and you can get quite a few out of them. Okay, so, and you've got that little tiny taggy bit there. You're going to add that in, a little bicycle. So there you go. And again, finishing that one off with some Stickles glitter if you want, like that. And then what we've got on the one that I made, I've added a couple of pieces of pearls on a string. So that's 2 on each, because we've got a sentiment. Actually, I forgot my sentiment. Where's my sentiment gone? There we go. This one's a slightly different sentiment to the one that was on the one that I just showed you. Fun times. Right, so we're just going to add that sentiment onto the page, and then add your pearls on as well with some tape. If I can find the end, just a little bit of tape needed for each, like so. So this is a really nice project if you're new to album making, because everything has kind of been thought out for you. And it's nothing really too complicated to do. It's basically just putting it all together. That's it, just finishing that off. And with your tag that pops in there. So that's page 3.